All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG. My name's Eric, and it's Sunday, Subscriber Sunday, where we play your decks posted on the Sideboard MTG Reddit. If you guys want to check that Reddit out, it's the first link in the description box below. Go over there and post your decks, give some upvotes on some decks, and I pull the decks from every week, and whatever gets the most votes per week gets played. Pretty standard. That seems to be the way most people do it, so that's how we do it. Hope you give it that thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, want to become part of the community, consider hitting that subscribe button. Alright guys, so let's take a look at our first deck on the list here. This is going to be a budget Black-White Knights deck, version 1.4. So it looks like the owner of this deck has been doing some serious work tweaking the deck out, things like that. We're going to jump through that deck tech really quick, and we're going to start with the lands. We've got 4 Aether Hubs here. We've got 2 Evolving Wilds, 1 Field of Ruin, and 2 Isolated Chapels. Everything else is a basic except for the 1 Sheffet Dunes as a utility land and 4 unclaimed territories. Now those basics are made up with 3 swamps and the rest plains to give you 24 lands total. So 24 land deck. We should be able to hit our land drops fairly consistently. You'll notice the deck actually tops out at 5 here with Angel of Invention. So we've got a pretty sweet deck here. So let's talk about the 1-drops. We've got Dauntless Bodyguard to either be that quick aggressive beater, or we've got the Faithful Push to stop the opponent's quick aggressive beaters, something like that. No, this is actually Adam Moldover, this guy, Adam's deck. And no, it's not Justin's deck. I have toyed around with Justin's deck a little bit though. I just currently believe that like everyone's playing Control, and like every time I've played around with Justin's deck, I've ended up putting like Kite Self Rebooters in it, main board. Like I'm really liking main board Kite Self Rebooter for these last couple weeks here. So I mean, we may revisit Justin's deck here shortly. I have definitely given that some thought, but we are just doing these subscriber decks from Subscriber Sunday here from the Reddit. So let's get back to the cards here. Now remember, this is a budget deck, so you're not going to see any Histories of Benalia or something like that in the deck. Now if you had more money, I 100% say that, you know, History of Benalia is a fine card and you probably want to put that in here. So but instead we're running cards like Cavalry Drill Master. When Cavalry Drill Master enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Not a bad night. Gaining that +2/+0 and then gaining first strike seems pretty good. It is only the turn that it comes into play though, so if you can give something that doesn't have first strike already, or something that's quite powerful like Angel of Invention, the additional power boost and, you know, the first strike, that's going to work really well for something like Angel of Invention, maybe getting through with an additional attack or something like that. Now this card without Benelish Marshal is going to die to Goblin Chain Whirler along with many other cards in the deck, but Benelish Marshal on the play is a great way to stay ahead of those Goblin Chain Whirlers. Now additional 2-drops are Knight of Grace and Knight of Malice. Now he's went with 4 Knights of Grace here and only 3 Knights of Malice, but we do have a little bit more removal here in the 2-drop slot with a couple copies of Cast Down. And then of course I've already spoken about the Benelish Marshal, which explains why we have so many planes here. Now I'm not really big on the sheer number of white producing lands for the English Marshal. In the past, we've proven many times that anything more than about 3 lands that do not produce the color needed to cast Benelish Marshal can be a little bit detrimental. The fact that we're running 4 Aether Hubs here means that if we do spend those Aether Hubs, or we have that Aether Hub draw, that we're probably not going to get to our Benelish Marshal because we're going to end up having to spend that mana to you know, cast some of these other spells. We run out of energy, things like that, with absolutely no way in the deck to replenish that energy. I don't 100% agree with Aether Hub, but it is a budget deck, so there's quite a few cards here that I think that I would upgrade. And the first thing I would do is I would remove a couple Aether Hubs and drop in a couple Isolated Chapels. There's nothing warrant like a third color. You'll see in the sideboard there's absolutely no third color in the deck, so I don't think that we really need to rely on Aether Hub as much as we're relying on it here. So the first upgrade I would make to the deck would be you know, drop to 2 hubs and a couple more Isolated Chapels in the deck, and then but let's move on to you know, the 4 drops here. We've got Ixalan's Binding, just a great answer all. I mean, it doesn't have instant speed like Cast Out does, but it's quite a good card, and most of you know the power of Ixalan's Binding. I mean, hitting something in a Grixis deck, if this lands, it's pretty much there unless they commit it. Shalai, Voice of Plenty, giving yourself and creatures you control hexproof. Now, this would be the only possible reason I could see of anyone wanting to play the full 4 Aether Hubs, but I don't really think that Shalai is required to use that second ability. Even if you just, you know, cut her off at the bottom, and she was just a 3/4 that gave you and creatures and planeswalkers you control hexproof, she's still a 3/4 flyer that gives you hexproof. I mean, come on. I mean, she's pretty good by herself even without that ability. And if that ability is the one reason for the 4 hubs, then you're probably stretching a little too far with your mana base, and especially to only have 1 copy of Shalai in the entire deck. I just don't think it's worth it to weaken the deck to be able to try to hit the double green. Other than that, though, we've got Valiant Knight. A lot of you guys know about Valiant Knight already. This card is absolutely terrific. Works like Benelish Marshal in a Knight's deck. Other Knights you control get +1/+1, and you can pay 5 mana. Knights you control gain double strike until end of turn. When you've got cards like you know, Knight of Malice and Knight of Grace, Benelish Marshal already on the battlefield, you start giving things double strike, you're getting in for a ton of damage. So I really like Valiant Knight. There's another 4-drop Knight that produces some more tokens that I think, I mean, they're cat tokens, but I do like the other 4-drop. I can't think of the name. I think it's like Leonin something. Maybe not. I don't know. We've got Aurelia. Ariel? Yeah, Ariel. We've got Ariel, Knight of Windgrace here. Now, this is a 4-mana card. Orzhov colors in 2 for a legendary creature, human knight with vigilance. Now, she's a 4/4, but she's got 2 great abilities here. If you've got a ton of knights on the battlefield, her second ability, just pay 1 black, tap her, and tap X, untap knights you control, destroy target creature with power X or less. So, I mean, it's kind of like the new Convoke, well, the Convoke ability. You know, you're tapping your creatures down to provide that X, and then her 1 white, 2 colorless, tap her, and you can create a knight. So the first ability will actually feed into the second ability here, and I do like this card. I think she's great, and I think 2 is probably where you want to be. I don't think that you want to like flood your hand with multiple copies of a 4-drop that you may or may not be able to cast. She will tax your opponent's Vraska's contempts and things of that nature. So I do like Ariel. Ariel? Yeah. Knight of Windgrace. Anyway, we've mentioned the Angel of Invention a few times here. A non-knight, but just another lord. And I guess the last card that I should talk about, and it was one of the last late-minute entries into the deck. This is Radiant Destiny. So just in case you don't like trying to hit this Benelish Marshal, you've got Radiant Destiny. Now, I believe that even Adam here understands the fact that his mana base might be making Benelish Marshal a little bit hard to hit, and that's why we only have 3 Benelish Marshals and a Radiant Destiny. However, I believe with a little bit of an adjustment to the mana base that we could actually shore up the ability to hit Benelish Marshal on curve, and with that shoring that up, I think that we would actually be doing the deck a much better service than trying to just kind of go, I'm not real confident in hitting this Benelish Marshal. I could fix the mana base and then be a little bit more confident about that Benelish Marshal. I do hate the fact that these Evolving Wilds come in tapped, but it will give you the ability to sacrifice a permanent to activate your Fatal Push if you would like to do that. Personally, I think that in those plays, sometimes Field of Ruin is just better because you're going to get that untapped land and you're going to, be not wastelanding, but ghost quartering your opponent. But you'll provide that revolt trigger and you'll have an untapped black source. So that's the main deck. Let's talk about the sideboard here a little bit. We've got Remorseful Cleric, which you can exile all cards from target player's graveyard. This is a terrific card. It works really well to just give you that graveyard hate but allow you to stay aggressive. Is this Legacy? No, man. This is standard. This is 100% standard. I don't know what the guys are talking about, but this is definitely standard. Grounded Flagon? Grounded Flagon? Shieldmare here, great against the red decks, things of that nature. I mean, you're going to be able to attack through those red decks, plus you're going to be gaining some life. If you had a way to bring this back, you gain even more life, things of that nature, but we're not doing that in this deck. Here we just want the 2/3 body that gets through the red cards. So I really wish this had like hexproof from red and couldn't be blocked by red creatures. I think that would be absolutely terrific. Might have made this card a little bit too powerful, but it would have definitely given us a silver bullet against those red decks. A couple more copies of Ixalan's Binding, because it's Ixalan's Binding. And then of course we do have a nice set of removal cards here with 4 copies of Duress and 1 copy of Doomfall. Doomfall pulling a little bit of double duty against cards like oh my goodness, Vinemare, and possibly even the new card that will be coming out soon. However, most of this deck will have to change. You don't have Fatal Push and stuff like that after rotation. Doomfall will not be here after rotation, so that, I guess that's kind of irrelevant. Maybe just for Vinemare and Carnage Tyrant for now, but just being able to rip any card out of their hand and exile that card's not bad either. Now, the last 3 cards here are Vona's Hunger as a singleton copy, and then 2 copies of Plaguemare. Now, this is in no shape, form, or fashion as good as Goblin Chain Whirler, but you can still get some things done with this by giving all creatures your opponent control -1/-1 till end of turn, and then of course it cannot be blocked by white creatures. Note that this will give you another black permanent on the battlefield for your Knights of Grace, which there's not many black permanents in the deck, so you're going to need either your opponent to supply a black permanent for your Knight of Grace. I personally think that Knight of Malice would possibly be a little bit better in this deck, even though it's hexproof from white. I think that the play for Knight of Grace is to avoid opposing pushes, Vraska's Contempts, and things of that nature. But if you're trying to be more aggressive, I think Knight of Malice would play better in the deck because you have many more white permanents than you do black permanents. So it really just depends on if you're trying to be aggressive or not, or you're just really trying to metacall, your opponent's removal. So that is going to be our first deck. So I'm going to jump over to the lobby. We're going to get into a game, and I got to get out of this modern stuff here, right? We will be playing a little bit of modern later tonight. So we're gonna jump into this black-white deck here. But yeah, we're going to be playing one game of Modern with a deck that I have never piloted before. I have seen a little bit of play from the Titan Shift deck, which should be fun. I'm going to have to look at that deck a little bit closer before we start playing it. I had a chance to kind of glance over it earlier, but for the most part, I am not going to be very familiar with the deck. Dauntless into Aurelia, or Ariel. Man, I'm going to keep saying Aurelia. It's not Aurelia. This is not horrible. We've a little bit of removal. We can get, you know, a turn 1 2-1 beater going. So I think I'm going to keep it, and maybe we'll top deck a 9 or something. Stitcher Supplier, well, that is a thing. So mill some stuff. Let's see what we got. Oh, we milled an Eldest Reborn and a Swamp. Well, we did top deck a, so you know that's a good one. I am going to get. I am going to get to rolling here. Being able to block our Dauntless Bodyguards, not exactly what I want. What? A prey counter? Okay. Okay. The black permanent's also going to be nice for us. I think we can remove this turn and then be aggressive. So I'm going to go for that. I assume that we get another prey counter put on our Knight of Grace. Would that be a black ability? Like, is that even possible? We'll see. So Stitcher Supplier gonna hold the fort down back here. Now I am gonna go ahead and fatal push this for him. We're gonna give him a couple more cards in his graveyard. Now, we did activate Fatal Push, but everything on our battlefield could die to Fatal Push anyway. I mean, I guess except for the Knight, because the Knight just doesn't die to Fatal Push. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's got to have something he wants to do with this 3 mana. Or can you just not counter... You just can't put a prey counter on, can you? Joshu Vess. What a thing. We're gonna call Knights here with our unclaimed territory, and I'm just going to drop Aurelia. And we will pass the turn. So next turn we can actually Vest after putting down Dauntless Bodyguard. Oh no. Okay. Okay. There's a hub. I'll hang on to the hub. We'll just discard it. And I would like to give her Vigilance. Or her in the chance for indestructible. I don't know why I said Vigilance. So we want to destroy. So I'm actually just going to declare attack here, and then before blockers we're going to go 1, 2. Oh no! Cancel. This isn't going to work the way I want it to, is it? Because we have to tap her. Oh man, this isn't going to work the way I wanted it to. Yeah, I was thinking I had 4. I forgot that you have to tap her. She doesn't count as one of the 4. So yeah, I have 100% just swung straight into this Joshu Vess, which is... it's going to cost us our Dauntless Bodyguard. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. It seems bad, but we can produce another Knight at end of turn, which is probably what I should have done. We should have just swung, or just not swung at all. Okay. Yeah, the mono black control deck over here doing things. Yeah, I definitely played her ability a little bit wrong there. What's up for the Horde? How you doing? And I didn't attack with them all? No I didn't, man. No, I did not. Like, I mean, yeah, we would have been stuck not being able to attack anyway. This is going to be fairly decent. I think we have to get rid of the 6 Death Toucher. It could have been the Eldest Reborn, which is, you know, what I was hoping we would use one for, but we did not. I still can't attack into this Joshua Vess. Like this 4/5 is just going to brick us here. So he gets to get back our Ariel. Now he doesn't have the white mana to be able to activate Ariel, but I guess he can kill our things with 1 power. Stitcher Supplier. Okay. What's up, Barry? How you doing, sir? And thank you very much, Barry. Israel. That's a card, I guess. Unclaimed territory. Okay. I think we're getting outpowered by creatures here. Yeah, our own Ariel is going to be a problem. The opponent eventually has to swing at us, and as of right now, it's pretty hard for him to get through our first strikers. I haven't seen anything in the graveyard so far that I'm really scared of, so I'm just going to block here. He milled another Joshua Vess and a Secret Squire and a Swamp. Benelish is going to be fairly decent here. If we keep hitting Lords, eventually we are going to be large enough to do some work. We're not quite there yet, but our defenses are looking really strong. Sorry, Michael. Got to use another word. For the Horde. Right. I mean, you can speak your opinion. Just choose your words. We're like basically PG-13. You know, we don't really use the F word much around here, but you know, the other 4-letter words are normally okay. You know, most people can get away with those. YouTube just isn't a huge fan of the F word unless you use it a ton, and then you go from monetized to demonetized to remonetized under a different category. It's a little weird. So we pretty much just stay away from the F word around here. Yeah, the F word being flooding. That's right. We just can't stand the flood. Yeah, we're like Master Chief. We don't like the flood. Really? PG-13 allows 1 F-bomb per show. You know, somehow that doesn't surprise me. Memorial to Folly. He's going to grab back Joshua Vess. I would love to flood a little bit more and pick up that Singleton copy. Oh man, it would be so good. Of Field of Ruin right now. Walk the plank. Don't you make me walk the plank. I can swim. No, I can't. He can't swim at all. He's got a horse, though. The horse should be able to swim for him. Horses can swim. Knight. And we're going to make blue. Right? Blue, black, double white for Valiant Knight. At least we get to swing next turn, I guess. I mean, it's gonna be horrible to trade any of our dudes, but he's about to make 1,000,000 mana with this, and when he does that, he's going to cast Joshua Vess with its kicker, and that's gonna be bad. I kicked Joshua Vess with 8 zombies. That is a thing. That is a thing. Okay, 8 menace zombies coming up. Zombie knights. Just for the record. Joshua Vess is also a knight. Look at that. Another land. Okay. Well, I don't think we can attack. So, I assume the opponent will attack. We will... This takes 16 damage by itself. So, I assume the opponent all-out swings here. The zombie knights can be tapped along with Ariel to kill our dudes. Oh, goodness. Alright, so we're... We're going to see what he brings back here. That's a lot of mana. Is he trying to bring back Joshua Vess? Oh, Torgar. Okay. So, Torgar is going to reduce our life total, and then at that point we can't block enough to survive. It was going to be a little bit hard to block anyway. The blocking plan was to put the knight in front of the 3/3 here, put another knight in front of Ariel, and then put 2 in front of Joshua Vess, and then we would survive 1 turn. Make them all double strike. So I mean that was the plan. Looks like it's not going to go. Yeah. Get that Pokemon talk out of here. Okay, so Remorseful Cleric may be worth bringing. I don't think we want Shield Mare or Plague Mare here. So I'm not really interested in those. I don't think this is bonus Hunger Game. Bonus Hunger Games. I don't think Doomfall is where I want to be. It might be. I'm kind of interested in Duress, but I'm also kind of interested in just having Fatal Push to remove some things. I think most smaller things we're going to just beat in combat anyway. So we'll see. I do want to get in the air with some flying. I think I'm going to remove the Cavalry Drill Masters here, bring in Duresses, and then we'll remove maybe 2 cast downs. The big creatures are that he has that I would really want to remove are not going to die to cast down, like Torgar and Joshua Vess and things like that. So yeah. Arena Trap. What? You play Card Fight Vanguard. Nuzlocke. Man, I have no clue what you're talking about, Grounded. Alright, so here we go. Yeah, I just wanted to bring in more of the flying threats, which seems like that's a thing. I mean, we could Aether Hub turn 1. I'm going to keep this hand. This hand's not very bad. I assume the opponent's going to have, you know, fatal pushes, things like that. I'm going to actually just play my Isolated Trapple on 1. Yeah, I could probably get a little bit more going if I Aether Hub, but then I would still be stuck on turn 2 without colored mana. So, I mean, I Aether Hub, Duress, and then Unclaimed Territory, Call Spirits, if we really wanted to cast it. But I think we could just play like a turn late, and you know, I think we can kind of go with that. So we'll just play the swap here. Duress our opponent. See what he's got. All right. So he's got Yawgmoth's Offering, Tetsamok, and Joshu Vess. Well, we're definitely going to try to hit the Joshu Vess with our Ixalan's Binding. And then, I mean, if he Tetsamoks, he Tetsamoks. That's just going to be a thing. Alright, so he just plays a land, passes back. We can just go Unclaimed Territory here. We'll go ahead and call Knights. Or Knight. Play our Remorseful Cleric. Leave up our black mana in case he hits something. But now we're just getting in the air. Just as much as possible, just keep getting in the air. Walk the Plank's what the opponent pulled. Well, I'm going to just go ahead and destroy. How does a flying creature have to walk the plank? Come on. This Walk the Plank card is like the least lore eccentric card I have ever played with. Like people making Glory Bringers walk the plank, things of that nature. It's just not right, I tell you. It's just not right. What's going on here? You played the Warhammer card game last weekend. It was interesting. Seems good. Really does, actually. I'm just going to Ixalan's Binding this while he's tapped out before he can, you know, like Doomfall my hand or something of that nature. At least we don't have to worry about dying to, you know, a kicked Joshu Vess or something like that. So we're just going to Ixalan's Binding on this Joshu Vess and go from there. Field Cosmic, what? That's a bad joke. It's a bad joke. The opponent said you're trying hard for a Knight deck to be a control deck. I want to start beating down. Like, I don't want to just play this Angel of Invention and then him go, here's a prey counter, and now I'm going to kill you. Like, Demon Lord. Oh my goodness. Okay, and we know he's still got Tetsamok in his hand, so that is a thing. Yeah, we're about to just get outpowered here. That's 100% what's going to happen. It's not going to be very easy for this these 3 twos to get in against the 6/6 flying trample. Yeah, that's kind of one of the major problems with decks is they don't have a ooh. That's about the most beautiful thing we could have seen right there. And now we can block Tetsamok if he tries to swing. Okay. So, I mean, Tetsamok's not going to swing on us. We're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Eldest Reborn. Well, darn. Oh, he did not turn Tetsamok sideways. I'm going to go ahead and play out my Angel. And I think I'm going to go +1/+1 counters here on the Angel. Mainly because I just want to get in for as much as possible. Each opponent's going to discard a card. I'm just going to cast it. Just to be all funny like. Yep. Get rid of my cards on my own terms. Send a message, you know. Yeah, there should be a list in the description box, but the deck was recently updated. So I think I've got the old description box. Bill Nye the Science. What are you guys talking about? Bill Nye the Science Guy? Really? Really? Walk the plank? Again, on a flyer. A plank should be a runway. Non-flying, non-merfolk creature. What it should say. Wow. Wow. Alright guys, I'm going to scoop it up to that. We can keep playing, but I don't think we win. Yeah, this is going to be bad. Yeah, so, I mean, our Valiant Knight, now he has our Valiant Knight. I mean, he's not going to give me anything double stripe because of his mana situation. Pretty much done for here. Yeah, well, I mean, we're just going to die to this. I mean, I could jump in front of it, block, that sort of thing, but we're dead anyway. We're not going to be able to get ahead of this Angel, so yeah, that's probably going to be next. If you can get out really, really fast. Yeah, there's no Settle the Wreckages in the deck whatsoever, which kind of worries me a little bit. If you can get out with the deck and you can get to going really, really fast, then you're going to be all right. As far as, you know, if you're going to need those really hyper-aggressive starts. We learned that with Justin Clay's deck. And then, of course, if your opponent can ever land something like, you know, a 4/5, that's about all it takes to really shut the deck down, is just a 4/5 beater, and you're probably not going to get through anymore. Josh Uvet being, you know, 4 mana means we could have fatal pushed him in some situations if we would have had a fatal push or something like that. I'm going to say that it was really close, but that last game we were just kind of one attack away. The opponent kept drawing kill spells, things like that. That's kind of what Mono Black does. Overall, though, I mean, I like the idea of a Knights deck. I like the idea of a Black-White Knights deck. It seems like there's something there. I don't think that in our current meta you can do pretty much anything budget. I am so against budget decks. I am so against like choosing not to play a card for a certain reason, and that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that I just have access to all cards, whether they're standard or modern or vintage or legacy or whatever. I mean, just having access to everything kind of makes me really, really biased on playing budget decks. I know not everyone has access. Did I say Fatal Kush? I did not say Fatal Kush. Um, Kush is not fatal. Anyway, he's not dead. He's just asleep. He'll wake up in 30 minutes and eat everything in the house. It's Cat Williams' joke. Anyway, I'm really biased on playing budget decks or playing anything where you're limiting a card pool more than it's already limited. So yeah, it's it is pretty sweet though. Fun idea for last Sunday before rotation. Do the top 3 decks submitted within the last 3 months since Core 19 was released. I actually like that. I really do like that, Madness. That seems pretty good. I'm guessing you've got one that's got a ton of votes. Huh? Okay. Anyway, when is pre-release? Yeah, sorry, Adam. Like, I just, there's certain aspects of this deck that I think that we're just missing by going budget. I think that, you know, if you stuck a little bit more value into the deck, you would end up closer to what Justin Clay's running. Personally, I just have no reason whatsoever for this Cavalry Drill Master. I mean, I get it. You're going to give something first strike or something like that, but I'm still not real big on the Cavalry Drill Master. I think if you want to stick in the budget route, just play Kite Self Rebooter here. I think Kite Self Rebooter is going to be a little bit better. It's going to be another black permanent for you. Gives you some main board duress effects, being able to rip a couple more of those kill spells out of your opponent's hand so that you can get a little bit more of your night synergies going. I think with a little bit of a change to your mana base, you'll be able to add the additional Benelish Marshals into the deck. And the deck's probably going to be, you know, very good for your local F&M, things like that. But as far as being, you know, hyper competitive or something like that, you're probably going to want to go a different route. Again, go back and look at Justin Clay's deck. He got a 5-0 with the deck. I did not do so well with the deck. There's other people that play these Knights decks that are much better at this than I am. But yeah, that's kind of that's my thoughts on it anyway. So take it with a grain of salt. As I say, on everyone's opinion, you know, you're still responsible for the 75 you take to F&M. So, you know, ever how you want to take that. You know, if you want to make some changes, or don't make some changes, run it exactly how it is, and just, you know, hope that you avoid 4/5s. Then you're good. So, all right, guys, let's move on to deck that I don't know how to play, and that's going to be Esper Meal. So we're playing a control deck here. This is an Esper deck. It does have a control variant going on. We've got cards like Blink of an Eye, Seal Away, Revitalize. Not real big on Revitalize, but in this particular deck, this could be absolutely backbreaking because, you know, once you start doing things with your Lich's Mastery, you're really going to go off. So let's talk a little bit about Lich's Mastery here. Hexproof, you cannot lose the game. And whenever you draw whenever you gain life, you're going to draw that many cards. So that means that actually is going to turn Revitalize into draw 4 cards. So 2 mana instant speed, draw 4. That's crazy. What? Who's buying a $250 box? Is someone actually going to buy that Hasbro special? Right? Oh my goodness. Yeah. The Hasbro special is, I mean, there's some pretty cards in it. Like the Nicol Bolas, the, you know, the Ralzeric, you know, there's some beautiful cards in it. How rare they're going to be is a little bit crazy because and work at Taco Bell. No, besides, yeah. Don't insult you. Alright, guys. At SideboardMTG, you couldn't do that. The cards are very pretty. Yeah, I also could not do that. I would love to have a set of all of those planeswalkers for my collection, but I don't think that I would ever have any of them. How rare they're going to be is going to be based on the fact that everyone who buys one's going to get each of those cards, so the rarity's not going to be that great. I do think that the people that are going to spend the money to buy those cards are not going to be people who are wanting to get rid of those cards. So the rarity in circulation is probably going to be extremely rare. So yeah. You imagine the set is going to be at least the $250 mark? I would say so. Like if you just want to go buy the set, the full set of all of those, then yeah, probably. But also, if you own any of those cards in their original printing and you know a good alterer, then you could probably get some beautiful alterations done anyway. And in my opinion, you know, just a good beautiful alteration is just great if you plan on keeping the card forever. If you don't plan on keeping the card, I do not recommend altering, because as soon as you alter a card, it's considered damaged. In some aspects, like if people are selling really old cards and it's possible to remove the alteration, they will remove the alteration no matter how good the art on it is, because the value of the card will go back up. So, like personally, if you know a good person, like a good artist who likes to do alterations, and you really just want to have, you know, one or two of these things, just go find you someone to alter the cards. I've had a few cards altered in the past. My favorite was Liliana of the Veil back in the day, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I really loved the card, and you know, just having something like that altered, it really gives you a lot of like personal ownage, I guess, to the card. So again, if you're going to have a card altered, don't sell it. But I think that if you want some altered cards, you're probably going to come out just cheaper by having a card you already like and just going to someone who does alters and just saying, hey, you know, here's the $25 price that you're asking, the $30 price that you're asking, whatever, and alter the exact card that I want. Because I doubt anyone wants the full 8 of those particular planeswalkers, you know, like, okay, yeah, I might play with this one, and this one, but what am I going to do with the other 5? Or maybe you like 5, what are you going to do with the other 3? So just go to a really good artist and have them alter your cards for you. That's my advice anyway. But you know me, trying to always save a buck. That's why I tell you guys, you know, instead of buying cards, rent from manatraders. It's a thing. Anyway, so Revitalize, if we get Lich's Mastery out, which I was reading, whenever you gain life, you're going to draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, for each one life you lost, you're going to exile control from your hand, or a permanent you control, or a card from your hand or graveyard. So eventually you're going to run out of cards in the graveyard, you're going to run out of cards in your hand, and then you're going to run out of permanents on the battlefield. And when you finally have to get rid of Lich's Mastery, you lose the game. So that's a thing. That is a thing. When Lich's Mastery leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So before you can play Lich's Mastery, you kind of need to have the entire board clear. And that's why we have cards like Fumigate, Vraska's Contempt, Ixalan's Binding. These are all really good ways to keep the board clean. Of course, you know, Lich's Mastery has hexproof, so no one's going to actually target it. Cast Down, also, you know, good like Vraska's Contempt at, you know, keeping the board clean, gaining you a little bit of extra life, turning Vraska's Contempt into exile target creature or planeswalker, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. So that's pretty sweet. Negate here in the main board, not 100% on Negate in the main board. Personally, I like Essence Scatter main board and Negate in the sideboard. Here we've got it, you know, vice versa. The Essence Scatters are in the side. I just think that there are more decks, I think that there are more decks where Negate is dead, whereas Essence Scatter is about 90% of the time at least going to have some target, even against, you know, like a blue-black control deck. You're going to be able to, you know, Essence Scatter something like the Scarab God or a Torrential Gearhulk or something of that nature. Whereas there's going to be some decks that you're just not going to have much to negate against. I mean, maybe you negate a Blossoming Defense or something like that against the mono green decks, but other than that, I don't really like negating the main board. So depending on what we're playing against, these might come out. Games 2 and 3, these will probably stay in against a lot of decks. So it's kind of, you know, up in the air. Personally, I would take at least 2 of the negates out to bring in the 2 Essence Scatters, run 2 and 2. Seal Away here, one of those great removal spells. But let's talk a little bit about our mill plan here. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. So if we get our Lich's Mastery online, we cast something like Revitalize. We draw 4 cards. They're going to mill 8 cards. And that's kind of the plan here. Ritual of Rejuvenation, we're going to gain 4 life, draw a card, and speed. So this is kind of like Revitalize. Again, these cards are not cards I like to play. I think that they're fairly dead, as they're just going to stall out and buy us a little bit of time. So yeah, I did run the Night deck. Consensus on the Night deck there, Seth, was if you run into a 4/5, you pretty much beat. Joshua Vest kind of shut us down. Got shut down by Tetsamok and Joshua Vest out of a mono black control deck. So that's kind of the downfall of running those low to the ground creatures. If you can't be aggressive enough early, those big creatures are going to finally hit the battlefield, and there's not going to be a lot you can do about it. Patient Rebuilding, the other mill card here. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Then you draw a card for each land put into the graveyard that way. I do like Patient Rebuilding and you know, Psychic Corrosion. I think Psychic Corrosion is just a fixed Mind Stone or a fixed Sphinx's Tutelage. I really like the Sphinx's Tutelage decks, but those were getting played when we were playing cards like Treasure Cruise. We don't actually have that here, so that's kind of why we're on the Lich's Mastery Ritual of Rejuvenation plan. So moving on up, the last card here is going to be Pull from Tomorrow. Again, if you have a Lich's Mastery out, well, I guess that really doesn't matter. Pull from Tomorrow is just going to draw you a bunch of cards anyway. Yeah, so like if you that route, you know, gain a bunch of life to draw a bunch of cards, I guess it would be Sanguine Sacrament. I don't know. Anyway, in the sideboard, we've got Invoke the Divine, which is destroy target artifact or enchantment, and you gain life. So if we have the Lich's Mastery out, we will gain the 4 life. We will also, not only will we gain 4 life, we'll draw 4 cards. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty sweet. Settle the Wreckage, being able to, you know, keep the board nice and clean, protect us from those hits from Lich's Mastery, things of that nature. So, Zaxadillo says, I've got another mill deck plan for Ravnica Standard. It's going to be sweet. Sweet for who, Zaxadillo? I doubt your opponent, right? Whatever. It's Magic. It doesn't have to be sweet for both people. Only so much fun can be had at the table, and Zaxadillo wants to have 100% of that fun. So, anyway, we've got a couple cards here for control. Syncopate, Disallow, and Essence Scatter. I've already spoken about those and how I feel about like the Essence Scatter should probably be main deck or something. And then we've got Doomfall and Bantu's Last Reckoning. Bantu's Last Reckoning just giving us an extra way to wipe the board. Again, if you do have Lich's Mastery out, you do need to be completely in control of the deck. I was actually thinking that Joshua Vest might be very good for your deck as well, Adam, as the Knights he creates have Menace. It will give you another black permanent for your white Knights, the Knights of Grace. And the zombies he creates are zombie Knights. So, and it should be noted that Joshua Vest and his zombies hit for exactly 20 damage. Yeah, so maybe Joshua fit in your deck. It's definitely worth looking around or looking at. He would work good with a Valiant Knight, things of that nature. It's definitely worth looking at. I do think some Kite Self rebooters need to be there though. Scape Shift the Gate, enchantment plus Psychic Corrosion plus Tatiova. Oh my goodness. Magic has a finite amount of fun to be had. I want to have all of it. Yes, that is it right there. Sorcerer Spyglass for, I don't know, all the things that Sorcerer Spyglass destroys or stops. The Scarab, Teferi, Karn, any of those things. We don't have any activated abilities, so I mean, it's not really going to bother us a lot. So Sorcerer Spyglass, good card. All right, let's go. Let's go play an Esper mill game here, and see if we can mill someone out. Hey, there was Joey Huey there. Oh, he's gone. All right. Well, pooey. Ranalt. All right. Well, here we go. We will be on the play. We do have our Lich's Mastery, so this is definitely something to go for. I'll keep the hand. And I'm just going to play the Evolving Wilds and pattern. So here we can Evolving Wilds. Do we need more blue? We might need a second black source. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get a swamp. Just a swamp. And then I'll play my plains. Now, this allows me to keep up cast down here. Not negate. Where if I would have not gotten the swamp, I would have been able to get, you know, the negate online with the Glacial Fortress. But it looks like we're not going to be punished for that. So we'll play the Glacial Fortress, and we're probably just going to get a swamp with the Evolving Wilds next turn. And we'll see what the opponent does here. Cast Djinn. Cast the Djinn. What are the odds? What are the odds? I'm going to negate it. So negate was absolutely terrific there. Okay, negate was horrible. We could have just played Ixalan's Binding and got rid of them forever. We'll go ahead here. And we will crack it on the opponent's turn. I do think we need to just get another black source. We want to have 3 black for our Lich's Mastery. And, yeah. Look at the top card of your library. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an instant or sorcery. Pay 3, exile the top card of your library. Okay, so you can look at... Okay, so it's like... Alright, it's like a bunch of things. Sure. We do need to find a good time to resolve this. I expect the opponent to have some sort of counters. This is a really good time to resolve this, though. And then that allows us to leave up cast down. Psychic Corrosion. The irony? Yeah. I think the irony is more of Ranalt is watching and he's like, I want to show him my mill deck. Right? Should have let it land and have a mill duel. I don't think so. I would have been more interested in just casting Ixalan's Binding on it. Ooh, blink of an eye. He's going to put it back in my hand. Alright. What a thing. Just going to replay it and pass. I mean, if the opponent's kind of going this route, then that's fine. I our Lich's Mastery means we're not getting milled out, so even if we draw our entire deck, we don't lose the game. So, like, even having 0 cards in the library doesn't mean that we lose the game. So, the big, like, this is how we win. So, I mean, our resolving Lich's Mastery should mean we're good. So we just need untap land off the top. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna make use of my mana here and kill this. And then we will mill our opponent here. I will just cast Ixalan's Binding and deal with the Tezzeret. I do like this Tezzeret, by the way, guys. Like, I think this Tezzeret is a terrific, terrific card. So, we'll keep our opponent from being able to draw multiple cards, things like that here. So, let the mind battle begin. Right? Alba, what's up, man? How you doing, Albatross? He has Blink of an Eye. That's fine. Like, so he blinks my Ixalan's Binding. Induced Amnesia enters the battlefield. Target player exiles all cards from their hand face and draws that many cards when Induced Amnesia is put into the graveyard from the battlefield. Return the exiled cards to their owner's hand. How does that work when you bounce it? Are those cards like exiled for good? I'd have to read it a little bit closer. Oh my goodness! Exile my hand, and he's going to mill. How do I get rid of that? He's got Ixalan's Binding as well, which now we see that he's got, you know, a lot of white cards here. He's just not got white mana, so I'm assuming that some of the cards in his hand are white mana. Yeah, he just milled himself for a ton. I'm just going to play the Drowned Catacombs. Just need to find a way to deal with this. I don't think we have one main board, so we're probably not going to get our exiled cards back. They are exiled face down, it looks like. So he doesn't know what we have. Ooh, we got the white mana. So now he can Ixalan's Binding our Ixalan's Binding, and then ooh, what is this? Teferi, maybe? Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Does he have a way to control this? I don't have art for Teferi. I have all the art for all the decks that we're playing tonight, but I did not have Teferi art there. It's heartbreaking. There's a Vraska's Contempt. That's another good way to deal with Teferi. I'll just pass turn, it seems. We're just definitely just going to be one of those pass-go kind of games. He possibly has another Teferi, which if he does, you know, we'll contempt it. And then, of course, we can always revitalize. I mean, the more cards he draws, he's just kind of bringing himself closer and closer. Blink of an Eye, Blink of an Eye. Wow. Cleansing Nova. Alright, so he's going to destroy all artifacts and all enchantments. Okay. So with the induced amnesia trigger still on the stack, I'm just going to go ahead and deal with the Tezzeret, which I assume is the main reason he cast the Cleansing Nova, to be able to get the Tezzeret back. I don't think that he really wanted to give me, you know, my Lich and Mastery and those things back, but I'm 100% okay with it, especially now that we have our mana. We've got negate backup. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do not have negate backup. I'm going to run it out anyway. We're just going to go for it. If we hit this, things become interesting. Bam! Alright. I mean, he could hit another Cleansing Nova, which would be very, very scary. So if he does have another Cleansing Nova, he just casts that and destroys all artifacts, all enchantments, then that's going to be bad. We're just going to lose the game. So don't be Cleansing Nova. So at this point, we can never tap below negate. Like, negate has to stay a thing forever. Yeah. Because we know our opponent has Cleansing Novas, which would beat us. So I'm going to play the Psychic Corrosion. And I think at the end of turn, I'm going to blink his Teferi. Although, I could wait till next turn, maybe? Yeah, you can draw, dude. Just keep drawing. He's down to 22 cards left in his deck. Sideboard MTG. If the Cleansing Novas, you can just bounce your because when it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So if I bounce the enchantment, I would just die. We cannot allow this to leave the battlefield. So there's no bouncing this. Right. I don't think that there's anything that I would rather do than just hold up negate at this point. So, yeah. Now that he's actually downtick that, I may just wait and the next turn Ixalan's binding it. Nexus of Fate. Sure. I mean, he hasn't done anything that actually scares me yet. Time to pull. Patient rebuilding. Okay. Okay. So I want to blink something here. And I actually don't think it's going to be Teferi. I would rather... Maybe it is Teferi. I mean, letting him reset the Teferi is not great either. I think I'm just going to blink the Patient Rebuilding and draw a card. And then we will, Ixalan's Binding. Hey, we drew a Patient Rebuilding. So we blink his Rebuilding, we play our Patient Rebuilding. Yeah. We are going to have a problem milling our opponent with Nexus of Fate in his deck. I don't know if anyone else has thought about that, but yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. So we will Ixalan's Binding on Teferi. And then pass. I mean, now you at least can't just throw another Teferi down, but we're not going to mill a Nexus of Fate deck out. I mean, he has to get trapped with basically all of them in his hand. Every time we mill one, it's just going to go back to... This is going to be bad. I just don't want him to get the Teferi back. He didn't have double white up for Cleansing Nova. So, I mean, I think that we got a turn here. So now there's not a lot we can do about playing around the Nova. So we're just gonna play all the things, try to mill him as much as possible to the point where the only thing left in his deck is Nexus of Fate, which at that point he takes infinite turns. It will be like his priority though. So because we're online, I think that we could probably win. I mean, he can't kill us. Like, he's not going to mill us out if we can get him down to nothing but Nexus of Fates left. Oh my goodness, this is going to be quite a strange game plan here. I'm just so worried about a Cleansing Nova. How many have we seen? There's a Cleansing Nova. I'm sure he's got like Settle the Wreckages and things like that. Induced Amnesia. Thank you. Thank you, opponent. Like, I did not want these cards. Holding 2 dead Fumigates. I assume that target player... He's targeting me, which means that we're gonna... Oh, we hit another Cleansing Nova. Yes! I wonder how many he plays. We're probably going to put him down to nothing but Nexus of Fates in his deck this coming turn. So he's probably already close to just a bunch of Nexus of Fates in his deck. We'll see. Search for his content. That's not going to be good, dude. Are you going to keep rotating through 10 cards? So I assume that he just keeps casting Nexus of Fate. Which, at that point, we just kind of have to clock. Patient Rebuilding. I don't think he can pass the turn. I mean, if he passes the turn right here, then... I'm just going to Revitalize. He scooped. The opponent scooped. Revitalize would have meant we would have drew 5 cards, which would have milled him down to Nexus of Fate, being the only card left in his library, and then the only thing he could do is just keep casting Nexus over and over and over again. So, wow, what a weird game. Definitely in Doomfall. Sorcerer's Spyglass. We're bringing in Disallow and Syncopate. And I'm going to take out my kill spells. I I think Invoke the Dead will be pretty decent here. We do need to get rid of some additional cards. Negate's still going to be perfectly fine. So let's look at the cards we don't need. We're not really interested in these gain life cards. So I think that's going to be the first things to go. Syncopate's probably going to be fairly weak. Is there anything else we could bring in? No. Oh, we can get rid of the Fumigates. I don't think we need Fumigate. So I would rather have this one, the Ritual of Rejuvenation, because like, yeah, Revitalize less. It's one less card, but I want to draw as many as possible if we can get our Lich's Mastery online. So I'm keeping Seal Away as the only piece of removal left in the deck. It's probably wrong. Probably just keep the other ones, but we're gonna keep the Seal Away. This is not horrible. Not horrible at all. I mean, there's a lot of lands, but it's not a very bad game plan. We'll go Swamp, which will bring in most things untapped except for the Glacial Fortress, but we can get the Drowned Catacomb next turn. I'm probably just going to play the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Invoke is going to be perfectly fine. We can that later. He's tapped out though, so I'm just going to drop this Sorcerer's Spyglass. We'll look at his hand, see what we've got going on, see what we got to work with, and then kind of just take it from there. So nothing here that would actually stop us. I mean, he's got a Nexus of Fate. He's only got one additional land. So it's going to be a little while before he can actually play like Ixalan's Binding or something. I'm just going to call Teferi, the Hero of Dominaria. And now we have a card that he needs to answer. Now, he'll spend his turn playing a... let's pull that up. A Psychic Corruption. And then we'll spend our next turn probably destroying Search for Escanta. Alright, here's a Psychic Explosion. Maybe we don't destroy Search for Escanta. And... maybe we just want to get our own game plan going. I mean, if it's going to be a race, we'll start the race. Search for Escanta because I have a Field of Ruin. So if we get to the point where it flips, we'll just get rid of it that way. This is going to be a draw spell for us, so I'm going to hang on to that. Draw, mill the opponent for more. So the opponent's going to mill us a little bit here. He got rid of Doomfall and Pull from Tomorrow. I mean, he may Ixalan's Binding our Psychic. Yeah. Okay. So now we're probably looking at maybe destroying his Ixalan's Binding. Or maybe we Ixalan's Binding his Ixalan's Binding. Or maybe we Ixalan's Binding his Psychic Corrosion. All of these seem fine. I'm going to play the Glacial Fortress, though. And... pass. So... yeah, I think we just end of turn, pop his Ixalan's Binding, and then next turn we play our Ixalan's Binding. Ooh, we got Patient Rebuilding and a Swamp. I assume he just plays his Psychic Corrosion here. Nope, a little bit bigger. He's got a Patient Rebuilding. That's a good card. That's a good card to actually try to get rid of. He has drawn quite a few lands. Let's invoke the divine here. We'll mill our opponent. We got an induced amnesia. Well, if we Ixalan's Binding right now, we'll chop a card in his hand. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the Psychic Corrosion. Psychic Corrosion works so well with Patient Rebuilding because Patient Rebuilding, you know, here's another land, here's another land, draw another card, which makes them mill some more. They don't work together, but Patient Rebuilding will benefit the Psychic Corrosion. So like playing mill versus mill heads up seems just, oh my goodness. Well, we've already named Teferi, so like he does need to come up with a way to deal with Teferi. Now, I am a little bit worried about Amnesia. So what does he do here? Is he Ixalan's Binding my Ixalan's Binding? Seems like a thing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am worried about the induced amnesia, so probably going to quit sandbagging my Field Ruin much longer. Ooh, alright, well that's not bad. So we'll go ahead and play the Field of Ruin. And I guess pass the turn. So now he can play his other Psychic Corrosion, which will counter. He's definitely milling us out here. We're at 40 cards, 42 cards. Does he want the card on top? He kept the card on top, did not put it in his graveyard. Okay, well, control versus control. It's the greatest thing in the world. No one does anything. We all just sit around and wait. We're down to 35 cards in the library. He got another Psychic Corrosion. Baraska's Contempt. Silhouette's gone. No problem. I'm going to disallow this. Blink of an eye. Well, I'm going to cycle right now then. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Lich's Mastery. I think we play the Lich's Mastery. If he has Cleansing Nova, we're just destroyed. We're just done. Hopefully he took his Cleansing Novas out of the deck. He may not have. But I'm just going to take the chance here. So the idea will be play our Psychic Corrosion next turn, and then we're going to invoke the Divine on his Ixalan's Binding. Give us Ixalan's Binding back, which then we will hit his Patient Rebuilding, And we should just be able to kind of go from there. So we go to his draw step. I mean, our graveyard is looking pretty bad. We do still have we still have a Psychic Corrosion left in the deck. Yeah, we still have one left in the deck. We've got Patient Rebuilding left in the deck. He has hit some negates. We've got 3 negates in the graveyard already. So we're running out of counter spells. So depending on what he's trying to play, and if this is okay, Nexus, that's fine. Nexus is fine. Again, he can't kill us with Mill. He actually needs to find a way to do some damage to us. I'm pretty sure this game comes down to a clock. No, Cleansing Nova is not a legendary sorcery. We've got him by 6 minutes on the clock here. Lich's Mastery is going to save us. Fate's going to save him. Neither one of us are actually going to mill the other one out, but getting him down to the point where the only thing he can do is take extra turns, and we spam F6, we win. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at. If he'll ever pass the turn back to me, we're going to have a pretty good play ahead of us. Again, he needs to destroy the Sorcerer's Spyglass before his Teferi is worth, anything. So, I don't know. It's definitely going to be a weird play. Yes, Urza's Ruinous Blast is the legendary sorcery I think you're thinking of. Oh, there's another Nexus. Go for it, opponent. Go for it. Another search for Azcanta. You want to flip it? I doubt it. A lot of mill here. He's got me down to 6. I just don't know if he's actually got a way to kill us, though. I mean, if I can find a way to draw those last 4 cards, we'll speed this up a ton. Ooh, Psychic Corrosion. Perfectly fine. Do we get to take a turn after this one? Is it our turn yet? Guess maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we get a turn. Hey, we get a turn. Alright. So, let's play our turn. We're going to hit his Elon's Binding. We'll draw the final 3 cards in our library, which I would rather hold them in my hand than let him have them. So we're going to say Ixalan's Binding on Patient Rebuilding. We're going to gain 4 life, which means we're going to draw the final 3 cards in our library. Would have drew 4, but we don't have 4. Ooh. I haven't played a land this turn, so Scavenger Grounds would be fun. And we'll F6 here. So now we're down to just talking to chat and seeing if he hits a Cleansing Nova. I don't actually, like, if he took Cleansing Nova out of the deck, then he doesn't have a way to beat us, period. So we can't lose the game. He's got 6 minutes left on the clock. I'm just going to hit F6 and talk to you guys. Chandler Cook, you can see the Cleansing Nova for the win. He's seen the Mastery, so no reason to take it out. But doesn't mean he understood how it worked. I mean, we have multiple people in chat that didn't understand how it worked. So, you know, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. As of right now, I've got a negate available. So, we'll see if he casts Cleansing Nova. A double white. It's another white. Sure. We can't draw cards anyway, fella. We have no way to draw cards. There's no cards left in our library to draw. So he did not take them out. So if he has another Cleansing Nova, there's not going to be much we can do. We really need him to have that Cleansing Nova in hand right now. I expected he's only got like 2 copies. So here we go. We no longer have any way to do anything. We just got to pray that he doesn't have Cleansing Nova. And then we just play the clock game on him. How quick can he do this? Demystify. That's the thing. No cards, no actions to take. I guess the one action we could take would be Field of Ruin, destroy his search for Escanta. At that point, he would just flip the other search for Escanta. Maybe we do that. Yeah, we'll destroy his search. And then we will exile his Nexus of Fate revealed. Okay. We'll sacrifice our desert. And then, there we go. So, Nexus never enters the graveyard in the first place, so there's no way that you can, like, catch it in the graveyard or something like that. Right? Yeah, just kill the search for Escanto, wipe the graveyard, buy ourselves a little bit of time. I think that, like, now he's got to dig through his deck, find his last Cleansing Nova, and go from there. We know he didn't have it in hand, so just spam F6. Talk to you guys. Do I still have coffee time? You haven't seen a notification for it in a while. I do not. I do surfing Reddit now. This week we only had 3 decks, so I put that up. I was going to do it, and then I had some problems and couldn't do it. But we only had the 3 decks, so I'm actually playing all 3 decks from this week's Reddit. So there was no surfing Reddit this week. So what I do is on Wednesday, I just take all the decks that are posted on Reddit, and I do a private stream, which has taken the place of coffee time, which is, you know, for all the patrons, you know, they get access to the private streams. So I post that, and then from there, we just kind of talk about the things on Reddit, like if you guys want to show up to it. And then on Fridays, I try to make those public. So that's a plan. Yeah, maybe he could do the Tezzeret beatdown. Maybe that's a play for him. Personally, I don't think that he can beat the clock here. He's got way too many triggers to resolve, so it is an extremely weird game, Jank versus Jank, but I do better with Jank than I do, you know, other things, so, you know, Why not, right? I mean, he's got to find that Cleansing Nova in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. This deck, for better or worse, just came down. I mean, I wish I could just say, hey, like if they couldn't even cast the spell, oh man, wouldn't that be great? If the jank fits your playstyle, it works better for you. Yeah, well, I'm pretty decent at playing weird, crazy, off the wall decks. It's the tier decks that I have a big problem with playing. I don't know. I've just always been a Johnny. Like so I. Okay, he's got Demystify and Island, so I'm gonna go. What is the new Tezzeret called? Oh my goodness. We'll just go Tiffery. Good old Tiffery. And I'll play a card. It just really doesn't matter, so. Just Ixalan's Binding is Ixalan's Binding. For the fun of it, we've got 0 cards in deck, 0 cards in library, 0 cards in the library in hand, but we're still not getting beat. Sure, you're good, dude. Like I don't really care. You've got 1 minute and 14 seconds. Go for it. Lich's Mastery, the power. We've already done everything. There's nothing else for us to do. Am I excited for Guilds of Ravnica? There's a couple cards I'm pretty excited about. Assassin's Trophy is just friggin' nuts. So, yeah. We're still at 11 minutes, by the way. I think I've played fairly fast. Yeah. So, I mean, this is where we're at. I think I said it like 20 minutes. This was going to be a clock game. Yeah, this is the new Dimir cards that got spoiled today. Look fun. What do you think about the new like Gonti-esque card? Right, right. Like, are you talking about the two like the 2/2 flyer that when it hits you, you get to exile the top 3 cards and like leave those into exile, and then you can cast them and things like that. I think the card is awesome. Like, if you could just guarantee that you hit with it, then. Well, the opponent actually said, he's like, I was trying to get that last Cleansing Nova out of my deck, and he just couldn't find it. Right? That's the way it works. So, I mean, we still had Game 3 to go to, so I just don't think he was going to beat us. I don't know what to say about this Esper middle deck. I don't know. Lich's Mastery seems really sweet. I like the one-up Lich's Mastery. I think it's really great that we hit it both games. Cool deck. I don't know what else to say. That was like chat said, this was the weirdest game of Magic I've played in a really long time. The fact that we're playing control versus control, and I had 0 cards left, like 0 card advantage, nothing, and just couldn't be beaten. Like, just having that card down meant that there was just nothing that could happen. So, yeah. No, it is not legendary. So, if you get 2 on the battlefield and you hit, you're putting 6 cards into exile every turn that they can't really deal with. So, that's pretty broken. Yeah. Alright, guys. Control always feels like a dirty win to you, but a win is a win. Well, Barry, I mean, like, At least we were jank versus jank. But that was pretty cool how that game did play out. So, did you miss the entire stream, Jack? No, you didn't. We've got one more deck coming up that I have absolutely no idea how to play. So I'm really gonna mess this up. It's a modern deck. It's Scape Shift. As far as advice on this particular mill deck, I don't know. I'm going to say that maybe you want to get with Zaxadillo or some of those guys that have played around with this archetype a little bit more. I mean, if you're posting on Reddit already, there should be somebody like floating around on Reddit. Those guys actually play with these patient rebuilding, psychic corrosion ideas a little bit more than I do. And they can give you a lot more feedback on the deck. Overall, it looks like the deck actually played very well. It was crazy how Lich's Mastery just won the game. So, yeah, Zaxadillo is the guy who knows Mill, so maybe he'll give you some feedback on the deck. I know he's played, a couple versions of Control Mill, and like the creator of this, Zax is kind of like just on the patient rebuilding psychic corrosion plan. Like nothing more than that needs to be added to these Mill decks. I am personally not a fan of the Revitalize Rejuvenation plan here, but I get where you're going at with it, or coming from with it. Lich's Mastery, it's a cool thing. So, yeah, this was a really cool deck. So we're gonna jump into Titan Shift. Again, I'm gonna have zero feedback for this Titan Shift deck. We're waiting on it to load. Hopefully it'll load. You think you might just throw one of your old decks on the Reddit just to see if it gets picked up this time? That's always something to do. If your deck didn't make it in one of the past weeks, repost it, re-update it based on the current meta, that sort of thing, and then play it back in. Oh my goodness! You built a Nexus Mill deck with Primal Amulet. It's gas. Seems good, Zax. It seems really good. Seems fun anyway. I don't know how good it'll be, but it seems fun. Well, come on, Magic. Let's see. I'll wait. Magic does this a lot. That does seem fun. To play like one Nexus of Fate, but copy it. Yeah, that seems alright. Primal Amulet seems okay. I like the idea that you're trying to get the... Come on, Moto. Right? I like that you're trying to get the additional copies of Nexus of Fate on there. So you're going to wait for the remaining leaks before you finalize your Abzan list, since a lot of stuff from Ravnica has been spicy for Knights. I think that's probably a really good idea, Jack. Knights is a really cool deck. There's going to be a lot of things added to it. Some of you guys might be playing Junk or... Yeah, Abzan. There you go, Abzan. I'm sorry. Like it used to be called Junk Colors, not because it was junk, but because that's. Come on, Magic Online. I had all the art for all three decks earlier. Now it's going to do me like this. It's going to do me like this. So what I did was I actually uninstalled Magic, reinstalled Magic. And turns out I had Magic installed in multiple locations. So now everything's on the solid state, and it should be pulling this art a little bit quicker, but it's not. We've got 0 art. Magic Online. Why? And go back. Come on. You know what? I'm gonna try this. We're just gonna try this. Where's it? Still no art? Come on, Magic. Don't even have art for Lightning Bolt. Oh, Magic Online. Why? I'm not playing this deck with 0 art, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just not going to do it. We're gonna see if we can. We want to see if we can clean this up. Like, I'll talk to you guys while we restart Magic Online, because Magic Online definitely started just being really slow there. So we'll just give it a second. All right, so you picked up Deb's Jaya's Grandma Burn Grandma Burn deck and hope to play with it with some upgrades like Chain Whirler. Again, you're waiting for the rest of the spoilers. Well, Barry, I'm actually playing that Jaya's Burn deck here soon. That was the original plan last week, but I got a little sick. Didn't get to play all the games of Magic that I wanted to play. So, yeah, that was a thing, but the next Deb's deck that I'm going to be playing. So, yeah, we'll probably jump in that tomorrow. Like, I'll go ahead and get everything up for that tomorrow, and we'll play the Jaya's deck. So, maybe we can get some feedback for you, something like that, and we'll see what we've got. Maybe we can see how the deck performs, so, you know, you can get some ideas of, you know, hey, this card and this card and this card may be added to this after rotation or something like that. So, yeah. Kind of surprised that nobody's hyped up about Firemind's research. I think there are people hyped up about it, but, you know. K-Dog, which one was your deck? Was yours the mill deck? Yours was the mill deck, right? Sir. That was the weirdest game of Magic I've played in a long time. I sat there with 0 cards in hand, 0 cards in library against another mill deck and couldn't be beat. Could not be beat. So we just sat there for turn after turn after turn. But he had Nexus of Fate in his deck, so we couldn't beat him either. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah. You hate Izzet? Oh my goodness. You need to be really careful with that. Izzet is one of the most beloved guilds in all of Ravnica, okay? There's a lot of players who are not necessarily Izzet players, but love the Izzet guild just because of the things it does. Like, you can't say you hate Izzet around anyone in Magic. That's well, Drake rotates, but you get a new Drake. Yeah, like the new Drake's going to be great. Crackling Drake, it's going to be great. Oh, you don't like Izzet either? You don't count. You don't count Zax. You don't like anything that doesn't depress your opponent. Bet you're a Jun player, aren't you? Yeah. Bet you play Jun. Jun has all the fun. Alright, hey look, we got some artwork. Yay, go restart. It did something. Well, guys, so this is a very, very interesting deck. Luckily we're not playing the Amulet Shift or the Amulet Titan deck. This is just Valakut, so we are wanting to get, you know, multiple mountains down. Again, I am not someone who is versed enough with the Titan Shift deck to be able to make crazy things happen. I do know that whenever a mountain you control enters the battlefield, whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, if you control at least 5 other mountains, you may have Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, deal 3 damage. Now, you can have Mountain 4 and 5 enter at the exact same time, and they will both count as the 5th mountain. I remember that from when it was being played in Standard, because like we had Valakut and Primeval Titan were in Standard at the same time, so this was a deck that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to play around. It was a lot of fun to play. So I'm, for better or worse, going to be playing it like the old Valakut deck. Again, I don't really have a lot of experience with this particular deck. I am not a fan of ramp decks. I will play them. They are a lot of fun. So we're gonna give it a shot. We've got cards like Summoner's Pact, Lightning Bolt, Explorer, Farseek. Farseek will get any you know, any card that's a basic land type. So you can actually search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain, anything other than forest, and put it into your hand, put it onto the battlefield tapped. So you can actually go get the Cinderglade Mountain. You could go get your Stomping Grounds. Can't go get Valakut with it though, so that is a thing. We could go get anything other than our fetch lands and Valakut, basically, or forest. So that's a thing. Farseek was played back in the day, so that was a lot of fun. Charismatic Omen lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. I don't really think this is probably necessary, but making them all mountains seems good. This way, every time a mountain enters the battlefield, you get your triggers on your Valakut, so that's a thing. Then, of course, we've got Secure Tribe Elder, which is probably just one of the best versions of this ever printed. Just being able to, pay 2 mana, you get the 1/1, but if they go to deal with it or whatever, you just sack it and go get a basic land card, put that on the battlefield tap, and shuffle your library. So just another way to go get. I think we had like a Sylvan Ranger or something like that, which is not bad. And then Sweltering Suns here, you can cycle it. You wipe the board. That's not a big deal. It's not going to wipe from your Titan, that sort of thing. Search for Tomorrow. Now, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. You can just suspend this for 1 green, so like you can just kind of have this like pop off at whenever you get ready. Now, do note on Search for Tomorrow that it doesn't say put it on the battlefield tapped. So the turn this comes off, you can actually prepare for a bigger game plan here to just have a little bit of extra mana. Wood Elves, I'm not really familiar with Wood Elves. It's an Elf Scout 1/1. When Wood Elves enters the battlefield, you can search for a forest card and put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Sounds a lot like Sylvan Ranger. I'm pretty sure that Sylvan Ranger is like the exact same thing as Wood Elves. I don't remember 100%. I'm going to look it up, though, just because I really want to know. Sylvan Ranger. Nope, that is not Sylvan Ranger. Where are you, Sylvan Ranger? Sylvan Ranger, when Sylvan Ranger enters the battlefield, you may search your... oh, you put it into your hand. Okay. So, where did Wood Elves go? Did I remove it from the... I did. I accidentally removed it. Okay, so Sylvan Ranger actually is going to put the land into your hand, which is probably just strictly worse. Wood Elves here will put it onto the battlefield. It doesn't enter tap, so that's not bad. And then, of course, we've got Scape Shift. This is currently in Standard. I'm waiting for somebody to really break this. Right, then you Scape Shift for all the mountains in the world. Yeah, so you just build everything up, Scape Shift for all the mountains, Primeval Titan, all of those good things. For those of you that don't know, this is a Primeval Titan deck. When Primeval Titan enters the battlefield, you're going to be able to search for 2 lands. This is how we're going to go guarantee that we have our Valakuts on the battlefield, things like that. If you're not really good with math, I do not recommend playing this in paper, as the triggers get exponentially great. Have multiple things entering the battlefield. Obstinate Baloth, this is pretty cool. When Obstinate Baloth enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. If a spell or an ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Obstinate Baloth, put it on the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. We've seen this effect. This effect's actually getting reprinted. It's pretty cool. I like the effect. The Baloth's awesome. Works really well against something like Liliana the Veil. Gaia's Revenge. It can't be the target of non-green spells. Against some decks, you're going to land this, and there's just nothing they're going to be able to do about it. Reclamation Sage, great elf to be able to destroy. It's got Naturalize on stick. Tireless Tracker, because we are going to have a ton of lands entering the battlefield. This is probably going to come in against any deck where we plan on being aggressive whatsoever. Tireless Tracker is just an absolutely phenomenal card draw engine. I love the card, and I hate that I let someone borrow my 4 and then I never got them back. So yeah, I lost my tireless trackers to a friend. Matt, if you're out there, I want my cards back. Anyway, Nature's Claim. This one's absolutely terrific. 1 green mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. So, Pulse of Marasa being able to give us any card from our graveyard back to our hand, and then we're going to gain 6 life. Dampening Sphere because Tron and Storm are both things, and then of course Anger of the Gods because is a thing. So that's the deck. Let's see if we can get this thing to go off. Here we go. We'll go to Modern. Select our Titan Shift deck. And Homeless Hobbit is going to be our opponent here. Alright, here we go. Sean, I guess someone explained something for you? Yeah. Sean, Primal, yeah, Primeval Titan and a land that bolts your opponent every time a mountain enters the battle. Yeah, that's basically it. You're playing 40 bolts. I mean, what do? We just go Valakut, 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 and then every mountain after that just becomes lethal. Like, I don't even know if this is a bad hand. Like, depending on how fast your opponent is, this may be like just an amazing hand. I would rather have some ramp spells, but I also like having these Valakuts. I'll play it again. If this just bombs, I'll play it again. But I really want to try this triple Valakut hand. Like, I want to see what would happen of a triple Valakut hand. Well, there's Tron. So, yeah, we are 100% screwed. So we just start thinning the deck, right? There's a Chromatic Star, so he's probably not even digging for it. I mean, I guess he's just got the natural Tron in hand. Okay. Well, that's a card. If I can produce the proper mana. So we're just gonna Tribe Elder here. Maybe I should have played the Wooded Foothills and started sacking for mountains. Yeah, just natural Tron here. Looks like natural Tron without a big payoff, though. Sylvan Scrying, search your library for a land, reveal it, put it in your hand. Okay. I mean, there's a chance that we can have... Like, if he hasn't hit payoffs yet, then we may still be in this. It's kind of one of... Oh, man. Darn it. Oh, that's a Sanctum of Ugin. We're okay. We're okay. So, I'm going to start playing out the Valakuts. I'll even play the Relic. We'll swing for one. We need to get into, what, 18? Is that right? Alright, so this is going to be 3 mountains. Like, if we count... if we count the Secure Tribe Elder here. Urza's Tower, so he went and got a Urza's Tower. So I mean, he's got all the mana in the world. Chrome Sphere, so he's digging. Producing green. Field of Ruin. Alright, well that's a thing. I assume he's going to destroy our Valakut, which gives us a mountain. I want to hit him one more time with this Secure Tribe Elder. So, I might have said that earlier, Mountains 4 and 5. It's actually Mountains 5 and 6 that'll both count as the 5th mountain. So, Sanctum of Ugin. So, Karn. We've literally just had land. So, I guess he goes and gets a World Breaker? Ulamog. Okay, so Ulamog's gonna do bad things here. Exile target permanent. So how do we make this work? There's probably some way that I just had this. And just don't realize it. Yeah, I guess we just pass. We'll get rid of a Wooded Foothills. Yep, that's a thing. So we'll just grab a mountain. Grab a forest. Yeah, I just don't think that I ramped enough. I'm just going to try to draw a card here. Yeah, I don't think that we actually ramped enough to be able to do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next game. Yeah, he's just going to start exiling our lands with Karn. So we're going to jump into the sideboard here. I'm going to bring in a Dampening Sphere. We're going to take out Sweltering Suns, which may or may not be right. Tireless Tracker, probably not. Gaia's Revenge. I mean, I doubt he's going to be able to do anything to our Gaia's Revenge if we can somehow ramp into that, but I just don't think that I'm ramping into it. I think just the Dampening Spheres and run it back. And then hopefully we'll just have a better hand, so. Yeah. You're dead. Homer is dead. Oh, right? Nah. Keep an eye on the Vampire Night creature type. See, I'm with you on that one, Alba. I actually think that the Vampire Knights or something like that, or the maybe even the Vampire Soldiers, will be something that's worth looking at. All right, so I am just going to ramp as hard and fast as possible here and see if we can get into this Primeval Titan. I'm going to keep. Yep, we're just going to go. Maybe it's wrong to play the Valakut turn 1, but I'm just going to play it. And then turn 2, we're going to go Wooded Foothills. I'm just going to go ahead and crack it now. I'm going to get Stomping Ground, and I'm going to pay for it. And then I'm just going to play the Secure Tribe Elder. And then we'll pass. Now I'm probably just going to sack the Secure Tribe Elder, like, now. And we'll just grab Mountain. There's a Stomping Ground. We don't actually need to bring that in untapped for this turn, so oh, I should have brought it in untapped and suspended this, shouldn't I? Yeah. I guess we can get the other Stomping Ground. We'll say yes. We'll suspend. And pass. I mean, we're ramping fairly well here. I guess he just Field of Ruins us. Yep, that seems like a thing. We'll grab Mountain, right? So we'll remove one counter here from Suspend. We're going to first Prime Time. We're going to say use his ability. And I guess we go Valakut Mountain. Yes, we would love to use Valakut's ability. Now he has to have more land destruction to kill the extra Valakut. Oh, wow. Alright. He does not have many more turns left. He does have his power plant now. So we're going to search our library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle our library. We're going to cast that. Get our Mountain. Valakut trigger. Yes, we would love to use the Valakut ability. This is about to get... Yep, he's going to scoop it up. He knows where this is going. We just pulled another Prime Time, which we would have played Prime Time, probably gotten two more Valakuts, and then swung with this Prime Time for 2 Mountains, and then we would have gotten 3 Valakut triggers, that sort of thing. Plus we had Lightning Bolt. Yeah, he had a lot of damage coming at him. Do we make any changes? Maybe Nature's Claim to stop his expeditionary map, but I think that we just want to outramp him, so yeah. Yeah. We need 8 dampening spheres, or 60, 75 while we're at it. Yeah, why stop there? 240 dampening spheres. Right? That's what we want. This could be great. I'm going to keep. We do need to hit more things so that we can hit more prime times, but we might have bought all the time that we could ever ask for with our dampening sphere. Chromatic star. That's there's scape shift. So I'm just going to say no and pass. Just going to drop dampening sphere this turn. I assume that he has another copy of Urza's Power Plant. I mean, Mono Green Tron's a really good card, mainly because of Ancient Stirrings. I love this card, and it's kind of where I want to be in Modern. Like, any of the Ancient Stirrings decks seems really, really good. So, yeah. Well, we will play Forest, D-Sphere, pass. And the opponent just cried a little inside. Little tear, that's all. He has his mine. There's a Chrome Star. So now we've bought ourselves a little bit of time. I'm gonna, I guess, thin the deck a little. I'll grab. I guess we can just grab a mountain. And then I will suspend, Farseek, we're just going to get Stomping Grounds, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we don't need the mana this turn, so there we go. Now we just need to get into our Primeval Titans and kind of go from there. Apparently you can't run Elf Knights side by side with Human Knights with History of Analia. Really? Termagoyf. Well, Goyf is good. Goyf is good. Chrome Star. Tron land. Not so scary now. Wow. For a green card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. I am just going to pass. And then, if he tries to swing at me with a Goyf, I'm going to Summoner's Pact. Oblivion Stone. Well, sacrifice Oblivion Stone, destroy each non-land permanent without a fate counter on. Yeah, okay. Maybe we can kill him before that? Maybe. I'm going to go get Primeval Titan. Oh, that doesn't go straight to the battlefield. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that was bad on my part. So we're going to pay. So we pay for it so we don't lose the game. We will cast cast the search for tomorrow, and then set up for prime time next turn. Yeah, maybe this will work. Hey, Valakut. Well, if we just play Valakut and pass the turn here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sylvan Scry. Well, he gets to search for a land, reveal it, and put it in his hand. So I assume that he's just going to search for like Field Ruin, which will destroy our Valakut, but Ghost Quarter. Okay, that works. We would love to use Ghost Quarter's ability. We will grab another mountain. Now, at this point, I actually want to stop grabbing mountains so that... No! You got me, opponent. You got me. Oh, darn. Well, I mean, we don't have any way to win the game now. It's just no way to win. Oh, wait. What if we just beat him in the face with a 6/6? That might work. Alright, well. Sure. We will get Woodland Cemetery and Windswept Heath. So now he's got to be able to crack the Oblivion Stone to get rid of the Dampening Sphere. So he cracks Oblivion Stone, gets rid of Dampening Sphere, Primeval Titan, Termagoyf. Then we play another Primeval Titan. I mean, the Oblivion Stone is probably going to beat us. Just because it can get rid of the Dampening Sphere. Like, I think he's trying to figure out how he wants to... Bam, there we go. Alright. Now you've got Urza's Tower that can produce 3... Oh, opponent. Got all of our Primeval Titans. Yeah. Got all the Primeval Titans. He surgically extracted our deck apart. But that's kind of the idea of the deck. I hope you guys got a chance to see it. We were just asked to play it. It was a deck that got posted, and somebody just wanted to see us play the deck or see the deck played or something like that. So, yeah, rip the Titans. Like, the plan was make him sack the stone, and then from there, you know, play 2 more Titans, and then just kind of beat him to death with Titans. Maybe in that matchup, I actually want to play cards like Tireless Tracker and Gaia's Revenge, Obstinate Bailoff, all of those, like, just bring in more threats. Again, I'm not huge into Modern, so I can't really give a lot of advice on Modern. I am trying to dabble into Modern a little bit more, so yeah, that's the thing. That's all we've got for tonight, guys. Be sure that you go over to the Reddit, post your ideas, even if you're not posting a deck and you just want to post anything Magic related. If you're a member of the community, you can get away with a few things that are not Magic related. Remember, we do try to keep it about 90% Magic related over there. So, I mean, if you got something, you know, funny or something like that you want to post, you don't have to ask for permission for it. But if you start getting out of hand, that's when somebody's going to say something to you. But for the most part, just, you know, enjoy yourself over on the Reddit. Post some things. Zax, by all means, man, post it. I mean, if it gets the votes, we'll play it. And most people like your decks anyway, so... I mean, they are hit and miss on stream because stream's a thing. Yeah, like, there's the stream curse. Decks that run perfectly fine off of stream do not run so well on stream, you know. There's, you know, all kinds of things that could happen, like your opponent could be watching or something like that, you know. So it's just, it is what it is. I'm no longer going to fight it, you know, hey, look, this didn't play so well on stream, but whatever. I mean, some decks are just absolutely terrific, but you get them on stream and they just don't play so well. So that happens. But you have posted the original. Well, if you've updated it at all, make sure that you post that update. Also, guys, when you do post your updates, try to post your updates on the original post, just to reduce clutter, unless you want it posted as a completely new deck, where at that point it will then take the be in the running for the next week. So that's something I'm not really worried about clutter over there. So we're not to the point where we have 10,000 members on our Reddit. We've got like 200 or 300. So that's not really an issue of us getting yelled at by the admins of Reddit going, hey, look, you got way too much clutter here, got too many posts coming. So I just don't think we're going to run into that for quite some time. So just post away. You're good. Nothing, don't slander anyone. Nothing in particular. If you want to keep things vague, that's fine. But don't slander anyone. Don't do that. That's just not nice. We don't do that here. That's all I've got. That's all I've got, guys. We're gonna be playing. You know what? We're gonna be playing Magic this week. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna be playing Magic like we do every week. We'll see what decks come up for us to play, and that's all I've got for tonight, guys. It was actually a lot of fun. The mill deck, crazy games. That was my first time ever playing. That's probably the first time I've ever cast a Primeval Titan online. I have never cast it other than in paper, so it's been that was fun to be able to cast old Prime Time. And then of course the Knights deck. We've seen a lot of those Knights decks, and again, they do get outclassed by big creatures, but they're very, very aggressive. So it was a fun night. I hope you guys had fun watching. We'll see you next time here on Sideboard MTG. Little Mike Tyson punch out for you guys. Little Mike's Confession. It's a cool song. Have fun, guys.